was on the road and under the lights for the Wisconsin Badgers, a Saturday night game against the Nebraska Cornhuskers down in Lincoln. We'll check out some of the highlights from Saturday night's Big Ten matchup, which, among other things, proved to be as close to a homecoming game as the young Badgers defensive lineman will get. We'll hear from redshirt freshman Isaiahh Loudermilk, and we'll have our weekly conversation with head coach Paul Chryst, talking a little bit about the close connection he has with a few of the head coaches here on campus. All coming up on today's edition of the Badger Sports Report.
Stanley Morgan out to the right. Lee in the gun for the Badger 18-yard line, where it's 3rd and 3. Lee, quick pass right side, Osinko, and it's popped loose and it's picked off by Wisconsin all alone at the 50. Chryst down to the 30, and he's gone at the 20, the 10, the 5, and it's a touchdown for Chryst. The 4th pick six thrown by Tanner Lee this year, and the Badgers are on the board.
I saw we was a man-to-man, saw the running back Child. This means cheated to get out. Saw the X had a cut down split, so I knew I was going to either get cracked or it was going to be a quick exchange or something, so I had to get on the back quick. I started coming, got cracked, tried to run through the crack, hit the running back's shoulder and kind of bounced up perfect. And I just ran through the block and picked the ball off and just tried to muscle it through to the end zone. I told Joe, I said, hey, I'm not even going to joke about you being tired no more. Like, I don't even know what it is. Well, I guess it's because they kind of drove on us the whole length of the field. Then I had to do that, so that's why I got a little tired towards the end of it.
Hornibrook in the shotgun. Jonathan Taylor, the running back. Hand off Jonathan Taylor across the 25 to the 30, 35 to the 40, along the numbers to the 50, Taylor to the 40, down the sideline 30, to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Wisconsin, 75 yards. Jonathan Taylor with a right back at you punch.
The run was pretty big, the momentum was shifted beforehand, and we knew we didn't want to end off with the momentum shifted towards the other team in a way. So, I talked with the linemen. We talked about the run fits on the play coming up, and it was there, and it was great execution. We always talk about that, and that's one thing we always work on at practice is that one-on-one battle. We only can block so many guys. After a while, it's the one man that you need to beat, and that's one thing Coach Set harps on a lot at practice is winning that one-on-one battle.
Hornibrook back into the shotgun. Umagali is tight to the right. Snap to Hornibrook, looking to throw, fires, Cephas, the catch at the 50, slanting right, 45-40, 35-30, and Quintez Cephas forced out of bounds by Aaron Williams at the 24-yard line of Nebraska. Cephas out to the right. Hornibrook in the shotgun, takes the snap, pressure coming, right side throw, Cephas got it! Touchdown Wisconsin as he beats Eric Lee at the right edge of the end zone, and the Badgers regain the lead.
2nd and 10.
And he drops back to throw, fires on the slant to the right, caught by Morgan, 35-yard line, ball popped out, it's loose and the Badgers have it. Coming up with it is Ryan Conley for Wisconsin. Oh my goodness, I think Derek Tyndall got in there. Yes, he did. Dakota Dixon as well, but Tyndall stripped it and Conley pounces, and the Badgers have it at the Nebraska 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Shaw, straight ahead to the 30, 25-20, he's gone. Touchdown Wisconsin, and he's taken down by Ryan Conley. Fires to the right to the end zone, it is caught. Touchdown Wisconsin. Sending 4, and one of them comes in scot-free. And there is a big, big win for the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by Zimbrick European, by UW Health, UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
Most people don't know that UW Health and the University of Wisconsin are national leaders in the field of kidney transplant. They provide new life for those who will likely die without a transplant, and they assure a normal life for those who donate. I would know. I donated a kidney, and together, we saved a life.
UW Health. Remarkable.
Ready, Tim?
Let's do this.
Was that Mike? That's Harry. The car stopped for me.
And that's automatic emergency braking.
The Nissan Rogue family. Take on today.
Bottom line, they still can't touch you.
I'll take it.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
Wisconsin, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra E-Max 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard. So find your dealer at WisconsinMahindraDealers.com.
My salesperson is Joe Santowski, and from the moment I first walked through the doors here and he extended his hand to greet me, it's been the best relationship since then. He knows this brand and cars in general so well that I trusted him from the moment I met him. He was obviously so interested in exactly what I was looking for, what I wanted, but let me explore on my own.
I thought JT was special tonight, and certainly, you know, the big run at the end of the first half, and I thought he had some hard, good, just 7, 8, 9 yard runs, and you know, I think he's continuing to get better and works and takes coaching, wants to be good, and I thought there was a lot of stuff around him though that was pretty good as well.
Definitely surprising, but you know, the guys give me so much confidence. You know, the O-line, the receivers, you know, they always give me so much confidence and knowing that they have my back. So all I know is I have to do my job and, you know, trust that those guys will do theirs. You know, that's one thing Coach Chryst talks about a lot. You know, trust the man next to you, and you know, that's how everything comes together.
Same thing we saw all fall camp with him. You know, he's really elusive on contact. He has good vision for a young back. You know, a lot of times a young back is just going to hit it up wherever he can, but he has a good vision seeing those backdoor cuts. So he's a good back. Glad we got him on his team.
As an offensive lineman, that's what you dream of. I mean, not having to drop back and pass, it's a lot of fun. Keeping it on the ground, I think it slows everything down. And if we had to, I think it opens up the pass game a lot. But that's something that we love, and that's what we want to do every week.
We just wanted to control the game. We wanted to grind the game out, waste as much clock as we can. Seize the opportunity to score a touchdown. I mean, it's huge to take 8 minutes off the clock to score a touchdown. It's huge. The game's swinging in your favor. That's what you want.
It was pretty fun. Everybody had some energy. They kind of knew what was happening, and they knew that we were going to succeed. So there's a lot of energy in the huddle. It was fun. I think I saw more our guys getting filled with energy and ready to go more than their guys getting beat down, but there's probably a little bit of that too.
Yeah, everybody's doing a good job improving each week. You know, things aren't going to get easier, so, you know, I think Jonathan stepped up right when we needed him right before half was huge. So we're just going to keep growing on that. You know, we want to be a physical running team, so I think it was a good step. It was time for our offense to come out and have a good drive, so we were lucky to put a good drive together and finish it at the end. And that's what we wanted to do. We knew it was going to be a great environment, and we wanted to leave with them leaving before us.
It's great because, you know, whenever you're away, you have fans there, but you're not going to hear them. You know, they put them in the deepest, darkest corner of the stadium or whatever. So it's great because you kind of just feel like it's just us against the world. So it's great to just get the crowd quiet and let them know that we came here and handled business.
It was a real good feeling. You know, me and wide receiver AJ, that's one thing we talked about before we came out. It was like, you know, it's no better feeling than, you know, silencing such a loud and you know, electrifying crowd.
Learn that despite what circumstances may come up, they're going to keep playing, and we got to build off of that. And you know, we're going to also have another list of things when you watch the film. But I thought, you know, right now, after a game, you kind of feel the emotion as much as anything. I thought they did a great job of kind of keeping their poise regardless of what happened and playing with each other. That's what the takeaway is for me.
This is what collaboration looks like. This is what happens when a cardiologist in Appleton works step in step with specialists at UW Health in Madison. You see, when Terry's condition required a second opinion, his doctor turned to the cardiothoracic team at UW Health. Together, we made sure Terry got the care and the heart transplant he needed. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health, remarkable.
Second down, handoff Taylor again. Right side, 25 to the 30, 35-yard line to the 40. Breaks a tackle, and Jonathan Taylor all the way up to the 44-yard line. First down, Wisconsin. Neville and Fumagalli to the right. I-backs, Ramish and Taylor. Handoff Taylor over the right side, driving his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Jonathan Taylor just pushing through the traffic, and the Badgers lead it 30-17 in the fourth quarter. 3 tight ends on the field. Hornibrook will give it to Bradrick Shaw over the right side. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Thank you and good night. The Badgers now lead it by 20.
As the Badgers get ready to come back home to take on the Purdue Boilermakers here at Camp Randall Stadium, thought we'd use this opportunity on today's show and just talk about the connection that so many of these coaches on campus have. A lot of them are alums of the University of Wisconsin, but not all. And Paul, you know alums and non-alums, and I would specifically mention Greg Gard there. You've known for years and years, but I think some people might know, but only have a certain amount of knowledge of your background with Mark Johnson, and more specifically with Tony Granato. I know you're pretty close with both, aren't you?
Yeah, and that, I feel really fortunate to know those guys and to have been around and know the history really of a lot of them. And Greg and I, we're similar age. Greg's wife, Michelle, went to high school with Robin and myself, and when I'd see him at Platteville when he was an assistant, I'd go back and, I stayed in touch with him. And then, Mark Johnson, my dad got his job at Wisconsin through Mark's dad, Bob Johnson. And they were fishing buddies, and we got a picture up at our cabin of a muskie they caught. And then, was a big fan. I think everyone that grew up that time was a big fan of Mark Johnson. And how could you not be? And then when I came back and was an assistant, Mark and Leslie, they were our neighbors, and so our dog would run into their house. Our kids were over there. They had the big trampoline, and so I would always just enjoy talking to Mark and asking him questions and how do you handle this and what's going on there. And then knew of Tony, and my brother actually lived in Tony's house when he was out in L.A. for a summer, and again he was a little bit older than me and a great player. But then really when I went to Pittsburgh and got a chance to spend a lot of time with Tony, what a tremendous person. And so you talk about, Greg, Tony, Mark, they are great people who are also extremely successful and so well respected in their field. I feel fortunate to be able to know those guys. We
talk a lot about fits with players. You have to be the right fit academically, athletically, and socially. But I think the same can be said with coaches. You have to be the right fit. You've been to a lot of places. Mark and Tony could be anywhere, probably. But there's just something about those guys wanting to be here. The obvious is that they're good at their craft, but you have to want to be here, and that makes it special, doesn't it?
It really does. And some of those conversations with Mark is, different people, and, they've contacted him, and yet this place, means something to him. And I think the players, that Mark was coaching, they all mean something to him there. And Tony, I know that's a big part of. Tony's had so many different offers, and I knew Wisconsin was real to him. Like, that was different for him. And so I think we all feel that, and it's a privilege to be able to coach here. There's a little added responsibility because you care so much. You want to make sure that you're doing it the right way, and yet it's those guys are unbelievably big time.
I know you guys, you're not always talking about your jobs when you get together, but if it's Tony, if it's Mark, if it's Greg, or anybody else, you can have those coach-to-coach conversations. The sports are different, but you're all going to face similar challenges in some respect that only you really are going to be able to fully understand, right?
No, I think you're right. And we just had Mark Osiki, assistant who, I played the same time Mark was here, and then we were both assistants at the same time. He's back, and he brought up a recruit, and they were coming in. He went and saw Tim Tibesar, who their dads know each other, and he came back in. He says, there's a hockey play up on his board, and you can kind of see it. And I went to a hockey practice last year, and the way they were playing their defensemen, he goes, this is no different than a defensive back, and you can see it. So, there's some of that schematics. Bob Johnson was like that. He'd always want to talk to the football coaches. He's looking for power plays. But more importantly, I think it's dealing with players and dealing with coaches and what's the best way you can teach and what's the best way to meet. It doesn't matter what sport, it's ways to teach.
I know that you're a fan of all kinds of sports, but there is something special, I think, about hockey for you, right? You
There
really
is.
enjoy it.
It's and I think part of it is the time of the year and, you know, a ton of respect. I always respected them when I was growing up as a kid and then, you know, seeing what they go through when we're, you know, with fellow student athletes. And I just enjoy watching it. And we got spoiled now because when we were in Pittsburgh, Tony's an assistant. I go to practice and they had a really good team. You know, so you see and you saw what went into it each day. And two of those seasons were those short seasons where, you know, after a long game and they're in the weight room and it just I think it's a great balance, that sport, of the toughness, the skill. It's a long race, but it's a physical game. And I think hockey guys are some of the best guys I've ever met.
Yeah, they really are. I'm not around it every day, but I've gotten to know a lot of them over the years, and they're great. They have that switch, you know, they're so intense on the ice. Yeah, but thank goodness that switch is turned off, off the ice.
And they are great. And my kids like it, so if your family likes it, you're going to watch it, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, dude. Speaking of spoiled, obviously that has happened here with what the basketball program has done. Greg as an assistant, what Coach Gard is doing as a head coach in a relatively brief period of time has been incredibly impressive. Mark Johnson's record speaks for itself with the women's program, and Tony Granato, I think it is safe to say, has made a very, very favorable early impression on Badger hockey fans around here. Maybe to the surprise of no one, but you never take it for granted. Coach Chryst returns in a few minutes with today's installment of the Great Day and Great Question of the Week as we roll on with the Badger Sports Report.
Ready, Tim?
Let's do this. Was that Mike? That's Harry. The car stopped for me.
And that's automatic emergency braking.
The Nissan Rogue family. Take on today.
Bottom line, they still can't touch you.
I'll take it.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
Wisconsin, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra E-Max 22 as low as $99 a month. Or get up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Plus, Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty comes standard. So find your dealer at WisconsinMahindraDealers.com.
My salesperson is Joe Santowski, and from the moment I first walked through the doors here and he extended his hand to greet me, it's been the best relationship since then. He knows this brand and cars in general so well that I trusted him from the moment I met him. He was obviously so interested in exactly what I was looking for, what I wanted, but let me explore on my own.
This is Lexi Rush. She's 10, and she's amazing. You see, Lexi was born deaf and couldn't hear anything. That was until her doctor in Appleton referred her to the pediatric specialists at UW Health in Madison. Now, 2 operations later, Lexi can hear everything. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health. Remarkable.
Isaiahh Loudermilk put up eye-popping numbers as a senior at West Elk High School in Howard, Kansas. 97 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 5 touchdown catches. He was a big fish in a small pond, figuratively speaking. The 6'7", 270-pound defensive lineman played 8-man football in high school, often towering over opponents. So the big question was, how would he transition to Division I football?
It was really a different pace, I think. There was a lot less banging, so when I got here, I had to get used to that. But in 8-man, there's a lot more open field. You get a lot less players to block people too, so there's a lot of running around, chasing down, which I think has helped me a little bit in kind of some open field plays.
You don't see a lot of the blocks that you see, and especially with him, it's a smaller league, so you're going against he's like a man amongst boys there, so you're playing against all the small guys. So just transition in terms of being around Division I players, to make that transition, it's big in itself, and then to play in the interior, it's definitely much more harder.
Loudermilk redshirted last season, using that time to not only put on nearly 30 pounds, but also get accustomed to UW's defensive schemes.
Being able to be over there on scout team, you know, going against the ones, some of the big guys, I mean, at first it was kind of overwhelming, I mean, I'll admit, but after a while I kind of got used to going against, you know, the bigger guys, which in terms, I think that's helped me a lot. My role as a player is really what I was trying to learn, you know, run fits and stuff like that. So I just really had to kind of start with like a new slate, you know, empty, I mean, and then just kind of throughout my redshirt year, you know, just kind of add on and add on.
4 games into the season, he's registered 6 tackles and 1.5 sacks. He's taken on a larger role on the defensive line, with Chikwe Obashi sidelined with the knee injury.
And Badger fans can say hello to Isaiahh Loudermilk.
I'll come off and he'll give me some pointers, or like things he saw and kind of things he like would do if he were me. So like a bunch of those pointers have helped me a lot. I mean, I just try to take in as much as I can from him.
We kind of feed off of each other. It's kind of the way we play. Whenever he has questions, I mean, he can come to me. He can go to Alec. He can go to Connor. So there's a lot of guys in the room who are willing to help him.
And I'm counting on him to get those snaps. Right now, he's that guy. So, but being able to just throw him out there and not blink is, I'm at a point where I feel like that.
Snap to Thorson. Badgers bringing heat up the middle, and Thorson is sacked at the 10-yard line.
This week is a homecoming of sorts for Loudermilk, as it's about a 5-hour drive from his hometown of Howard, Kansas, to here in Lincoln. He expects about 13 to 14 friends and family to be in attendance.
That'll be a crazy experience, especially playing there at that stadium and against Nebraska. I mean, even for like my family, I'm excited for them to be able to watch, and then for me, I'm excited to play in that game. I mean, I think that'll be a pretty exciting one.
For the Badger Sports Report with Paul Chryst, I'm Ryan Wing.
My salesperson is Joe Santowski, and from the moment I first walked through the doors here and he extended his hand to greet me, it's been the best relationship since then. He knows this brand and cars in general so well that I trusted him from the moment I met him. He was obviously so interested in exactly what I was looking for, what I wanted, but let me explore on my own.
At Hy-Vee Market Grill, you'll find something for everyone. Steaks grilled to perfection, delicious pasta, wood oven flatbread pizzas, and the burgers are the best in town. Plus, you've got to try our delicious Sunday brunch. And Hy-Vee Market Grills are next to Hy-Vee stores, so it's not like we're gonna run out of food. It's good food, good times, and we love to see people smile. So get on into Hy-Vee Market Grill today.
This is what collaboration looks like. This is what happens when a cardiologist in Appleton works step in step with specialists at UW Health in Madison. You see, when Terry's condition required a second opinion, his doctor turned to the cardiothoracic team at UW Health. Together, we made sure Terry got the care and the heart transplant he needed. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health, remarkable.
Ready, Tim?
Let's do this. Was that Mike? That's Harry. The car stopped for me.
And that's automatic emergency braking.
The Nissan Rogue family. Take on today.
Bottom line, they still can't touch you.
I'll take it.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by Hy-Vee. Where there's a helpful smile in every aisle, Hy-Vee proudly supports the Wisconsin Badgers. By UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
Time for this week's Great Dane Great Question of the Week, and it comes from Bob out of Brookfield. Of course it's from Brookfield because he wants to ask about Joe Thomas. And Coach, your thoughts recently, Joe, doing the unthinkable. And it's well past 10,000 consecutive snaps now, but that is impossible for most of us to even try to comprehend. It's amazing what Joe's doing.
And you shouldn't say it's amazing, probably overused in sports, but that is amazing. And yet, to me, when I look back and think about Joe, how many people can match the expectations, and he can still do that and then some. You know, truly, you know, as part of his recruiting, highly recruited, and yet comes and is an All-American Outland Trophy winner, and then high draft pick, and yet he goes and sets a mark, and the ultimate pro. And the respect that he has around the league, it's well deserved. You know, it's certainly the seasons haven't all gone with wins and losses, but Joe has made a mark, and it's I'm so happy for him, proud of him, and it is amazing.
He made an impression right away with a lot of folks. Instead of going to the draft, the NFL wanted him to go. He wanted to go fishing.
And that's when whenever that is, when he's done, he's going fishing.
Yes, he will. Bob, thank you for your question. The Great Dane with the location up in Wausau, as well as 4 in Madison, east side of town, downtown Fitchburg, as well as Hilldale. Badgers back home for the next couple of games, including this Saturday, as Wisconsin takes on the Purdue Boilermakers. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for watching.
Honoring all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. Every division, every sport, the Learfield Directors Cup. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook, find us online and on Twitter. The Learfield Directors Cup.
Most people don't know that UW Health and the University of Wisconsin are national leaders in the field of kidney transplant. They provide new life for those who will likely die without a transplant, and they assure a normal life for those who donate. I would know. I donated a kidney, and together, we saved a life.
UW Health. Remarkable.
A pulse, felt by one, sends a ripple, felt by some. A shiver, felt by many, until it amplifies, magnifies into a tremor that electrifies. Badgers everywhere, moving as one, tilting the world on its axis.